Good day, everyone. I hope you're all good. My name is Desire Pepe, aka Ngwakwa. Like today, it just happens, like when I'm passing by, like this certain place, I reminisced, my early childhood, like when I was a teen, back then with my friends, like the Manyikas, like I remember, we adventurous, I invented, some kind of a jungle gym, whereby, pointedly at that tree, I picked, a telephone, cable, it was considerably stronger, and I tied it on the top of that tree, going downwards, and then it happened, I tied it on that certain tree, the third one downwards, and we picked up some sticks that was considerable, stronger, they were in a V shape, and we could swing, going upwards there, going sloping to that area, to that tree there. I remember there was sand there, and I was just inventive, life was just wonderful, I was a person, who liked, the jungle, I was, inspired a lot, by the jungle because I could invent a lot of things, as I was invention, with all the inventions, I was quite an exploitative guy, when I remember this place, it happens, it's also the secondary school by which I've learned in, however, there are grounds here, as it happens, in here in our country, a school, is provisioned, with the playing ground and all the stuff, and at the sides, there will be these gum trees, as you all know it, they've been put, with knowledge, in wisdom and understanding, just as you know it, the trees, they can hold, the excessive, winds, from blowing, towards the premises and stuff, and there's a lot of knowledge there, however, that's it I wanted to showcase about this certain place. However, what gives me concern the most is that, these certain places, they were, they were like some palisade, it was compounded, this certain ground. However, nowadays it's no longer the case, I think, it's because of, lack of financing, as to compound this certain area, however, there are, kids who come here to play, thought, I think, the school, they decided, to leave it just like that for the time being, or maybe they are earmarking, some funds to compound this place, otherwise this place it gives me a lot of memories, we could come here, using some sling, to catch the birds and stuff, I did a lot of exploitative stuff in here in this ground, as far as I can remember, it has some bushy area, I've remembered a lot of things here, as I can recollect, as I can, dissect. Otherwise, that's it I wanted to share with you. Family, otherwise, God bless you. Goodbye.